Welcome back, everyone, to Eco Wealth Lab. Genuinely great to have you with us again for another deep dive.
Absolutely. It's always good to be digging into these things.
Keeping track of crypto news sometimes feels like, I don't know, juggling flaming torches while riding a unicycle.
That's one way to put it. It moves fast.
It really does.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here right now, to sift through it all. But hey, before we really jump in, could you do us a quick favor? See that subscribe button?
Yep.
And think of it like your VIP pass to staying ahead. One click. You're golden for all future deep dives. Seriously, though, it really helps us out, lets us know we're on the right track, makes our day, honestly.
It really does. So today we're honing in on the stuff that, really matters if you're invested or thinking about investing in crypto.
Exactly. Market moves, big players doing things, new tech popping up. We're covering it.
So where should we start? That Bitcoin surge.
Yeah, let's kick off there. Bitcoin jumped, over 8%? Hit around $81,700 on April 11th. What was behind that? Well, the timing lines up pretty closely with President Trump's announcement. The one about pausing tariffs for 90 days.
Ah, okay. So geopolitical news moving the crypto market again.
Seems like it. Generally, when some of that global economic tension eases off, even temporarily, investors often feel a bit more, let's say, adventurous.
Right, more willing to dip into riskier assets, and crypto fits that bill.
Exactly. It's like a collective sigh of relief in the market, freeing up some capital.
And it wasn't just Bitcoin feeling the love, right? Others saw gains too.
That's right. Ethereum and XRP, they both jumped pretty significantly. We're talking over 12% each.
Wow, 12%. So a broad positive wave then.
It suggests the sentiment boost from the tariff news wasn't just isolated to Bitcoin. It spread across the majors.
Okay, good to see. But I'm still seeing some analysts pumping the brakes, not quite calling it a full bull run yet. What's holding them back?
That's a really important point. While the tariff pause was definitely welcome news, the bigger picture is still pretty complicated.
Like what specifically?
Well, for instance, while most tariffs got paused, the ones on China actually went up, way up to 125%.
Oof. Okay, so mixed signals there.
Exactly. Those kinds of underlying tensions and uncertainties, they tend to make analysts cautious about calling a sustained bull market based on just one piece of news. Short-term relief doesn't erase long-term worries.
Gotcha. Makes sense. But looking beyond the immediate jump, Bitcoin's actually up, 33% since the halving in 2024? That feels more substantial.
Definitely. And a big part of that sustained growth story seems to be institutional involvement.
The ETFs and all that?
Precisely. The Bitcoin ETFs have opened the doors for a lot of traditional money. And you've got bigger financial players getting more comfortable, which adds both capital and, a certain legitimacy.
Speaking of institutions, Metaplanet just keeps buying Bitcoin, don't they?
They really do. It's quite the strategy. They just picked up another 330 BTC.
Bringing their total too.
4,855 Bitcoin now. And they've publicly said they're aiming for 10,000.
10,000 BTC, that's some serious conviction.
It definitely signals a strong long-term belief, yeah. Kind of ignores the day-to-day noise, makes you wonder about more companies using Bitcoin in their treasury.
And it's not just direct buying, is it? I saw something about MicroStrategy shares.
Right. Apparently over 13,000 institutions now hold MicroStrategy stock.
And since MicroStrategy holds a ton of Bitcoin...
Exactly. With, around $9 billion in unrealized gains on their Bitcoin, holding MSTR stock has become a sort of proxy for Bitcoin exposure for these institutions.
Interesting. Like a backdoor into Bitcoin without holding the keys yourself.
Kind of, yeah. It's another sign of institutional interest finding different avenues.
Okay, so institutions are clearly moving in, but here's something odd. Crypto exchange volumes are apparently at a 6-month low. How does that fit?
That is a curious detail, isn't it? It could mean a few things. Maybe these larger players, the institutions, they're not actively trading day-to-day on exchanges.
So they're buying OTC or just holding long-term.
Could be. Accumulating through other channels, or maybe shifting towards more sophisticated stuff like futures and derivatives rather than just spot trading. That might explain lower spot volumes on the public exchanges.
Okay, that tracks. Less frantic buying and selling, more strategic positioning. Let's pivot to tech for a moment. BlackRock again, but this time involving Solana.
Yeah, this is pretty significant. They're expanding BUIDL, their tokenized money market fund, onto the Solana blockchain.
BUIDL. That's one with billions in it already.
Yeah, about $1.7 billion in assets under management last I checked. Solana becomes the 7th chain they support.
Okay, so if I'm holding SOL or just watching Solana, Why should I care about this BlackRock move? What's the impact?
Well, it's a massive stamp of approval, essentially. BlackRock choosing Solana brings huge institutional credibility. It could really pave the way for more big money to flow into Solana, especially for tokenized real-world assets, RWAs.
So potentially more demand, more liquidity for Solana-based stuff.
That's the idea. It signals to other institutions that Solana's tech is ready for prime time, potentially boosting adoption.
Definitely sounds bullish for the Solana crowd. And sticking with connections, this NFT bridge from whale.io, what's that about?
Right. Whale.io launched this NFT bridge around April 10th. The goal is basically making it easier to move NFTs between different blockchains.
Like building digital highways between Ethereum NFTs and, say, Solana NFTs.
Pretty much, yeah. Improving interoperability.
And the benefit for NFT holders or traders?
It could mean more liquidity. If your NFT isn't stuck on one chain, it can reach more potential buyers on other networks.
Opens up the market more.
Exactly. And it could also enable new ways to use NFTs across different DeFi apps or metaverses that live on different chains. More utility, potentially more value.
Makes sense. Connecting the isolated islands of the NFT world. Now, something potentially huge for Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin suggesting replacing the EVM with RISC-V. Sounds technical. What's the core idea?
It's definitely technical, but the potential payoff is huge. The EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, is basically the engine running Ethereum smart contracts now.
Okay.
RISC-V is a different open source architecture. The proposal suggests switching could dramatically improve how efficiently Ethereum processes transactions. We're talking potential gains of up to 100 times in execution efficiency.
Whoa, 100x. That would be game-changing for speeds and gas fees, right?
Absolutely. It could tackle some of those core scalability problems head-on. Now, it's still just a proposal, a long way from happening. These tons of work and agreement.
Sure. But the vision is a vastly more scalable Ethereum. Very interesting. Okay, let's touch on the regulatory side. South Korea's central bank is looking closely at stablecoins.
Yeah, the Bank of Korea is getting involved in setting rules. Their main worry seems to be how stablecoins could affect their control over monetary policy.
Like if everyone started using a stablecoin instead of the one.
Kind of. If stablecoins become too widespread, it can make it harder for the central bank to manage the money supply, interest rates, and just generally maintain financial stability. They're being cautious.
Understandable from their perspective. Now, less positive news, that Bybit report on laundered crypto.
Yeah, that's a stark reminder of the risks. The report suggests about 27.59% of $1.4 billion in stolen crypto has been laundered.
Nearly 30%. That's a lot. How are they doing it?
The usual suspects, unfortunately.
Right.
Mixers to obscure the trail, cross-chain bridges, PDP platforms, OTC deals. The report also mentioned links to the Lazarus Group.
The North Korean hackers.
Allegedly, yes. It just highlights the ongoing battle against illicit finance in the crypto space. Need better tools, more vigilance.
Definitely sobering. Slightly different topic. Bybit, the exchange, had to roll back some trades. What happened there?
Yeah, that was unusual. They reversed trades for a token called VOXEL and compensated users. Their system apparently flagged some really weird activity. Looked like potential market manipulation.
So they stepped in to stop it.
Seems so. It's a drastic step, rolling back trades, but it shows exchanges are trying to police things and protect users from manipulation, even if it's complex.
Right. Okay, finally, let's look ahead. Market outlook. Arthur Hayes is pretty bullish on Bitcoin, right? Talking $100.
He is. He's pointing to things like U.S. Treasury buybacks and potentially a weaker dollar as fuel for Bitcoin to surge past $100,000.
And he said something like, this might be the last chance to buy under 6 figures.
Yeah, pretty bold call, but based on his view of the macro environment.
Interesting. And he also mentioned the low exchange volumes we talked about.
He did, linked it to that shift towards futures, more speculative trading rather than just spot buying. And interestingly, he also noted Solana's trading volume recently edged slightly ahead of Ethereum's.
Reinforces that Solana momentum we discussed with BlackRock.
Could be, yeah. Reflects the growing activity and interest there.
All right, so just to quickly wrap things up for everyone listening, we've seen Bitcoin react to global news, big institutions like BlackRock diving deeper, especially into areas like Solana and tokenization.
Plus tech advancements like NFT bridges making things more connected, and even huge potential shifts being discussed for Ethereum's core tech.
It really shows how everything's connected, doesn't it? Global events, institutional money, tech breakthroughs, it all shapes this market.
Yeah.
Keeping tabs on all these pieces is, well, pretty crucial.
Absolutely. You need that broader perspective to make sense of it all.
So here's a thought to leave you with. As traditional finance and crypto keep merging and all this new tech keeps evolving, what do you think the next big thing will be, that next major catalyst? Is it just more institutional buy-in, a specific tech like, I don't know, RISC-V actually happening, or maybe something totally unexpected out of left field?
Yeah, what's going to really shake things up next? We'd love to hear what you think. Drop your ideas in the comments.
Thanks so much for diving deep with us here at EcoWealth Lab. Stay curious, keep learning.
And we'll catch you in the next deep dive.